Hello guys and gals, and welcome to another episode of Unique Items. Today we're going to be going over one of the uniques that has been changed pretty drastically in a couple of patches, and for good reason, because it was actually pretty garbage. This is the 1.20 version, and we can go over some of the changes, but let's go over the item itself first. In fact, let's go ahead and upgrade it so it's actually got its full potential. So this is the Grasp of Shadows Ancestral Unique Gloves, which I believe does drop Ancestral, or Sacred as well, in World Tier 3 and World Tier 4. Dying. These gloves can roll between 42 and 63 on Dexterity, 11.4% attack speed, 6.6 to 15% increased attack speed, 65.3% Shadow Clone damage, 47.2 to 78.7% Shadow Clone damage, and then 6 ranks to all core skills, which is kind of insane. 6 ranks to core skills is nuts. I mean, the highest you can get to any specific skill is like 4, right? So that's 2 higher than any specific skill. And it also gives it to all core skills too. So this is something that's important to note, is that if you put the gloves on, it literally just gives you all the core skills at level 6, which is 1 higher than you could ever potentially get it to with your actual skills. Which means that you could potentially use these gloves to do dual core skills. So like maybe you want to do penetrating shot and rapid fire. Well, then now you can do penetrating shot and rapid fire together, because well, now you have level 11 penetrating shot, level 6 rapid fire, and of course you have to put 1 point into it to get access to the passives. So it's going to be level 7 with the gloves on, which is not bad. The special effect of these is Lucky Hit. Damaging a vulnerable enemy with a marksman or cutthroat skill has a 34% chance to summon a shadow clone that mimics your attack. Now, before there was a lot of problems with the shadow clone. The shadow clone wouldn't properly execute twisting blades. It wouldn't properly apply imbuments. I believe there was some other issues where it wasn't properly executing the attacks as they were supposed to be executed. It was like stopping halfway or something. There was a whole bunch of different issues that were going on with this particular item, and according to the patch notes, they have fixed the majority of the issues with this item so that the shadow clone that comes from the effect is actually much more, well, useful now. Let's take a look and see kind of how useful he is, though. So let's go ahead and swap this so I got my guaranteed vulnerable on my shadow explosion. And then let's go down here and let's see if I can get my shadow clone to pop out. Now, of course, the other added benefit of this is that it does give a pretty massive damage bonus to the shadow clone itself. So if you are using the shadow clone ability, you're also getting a bonus to, well, the shadow clone. So it's not exactly a terrible thing either way, even if the shadow clone isn't spawning, because you're still getting a pretty nice damage bonus to the shadow clone itself. I'm just trying to see if I can actually get him to spawn.
So dark and cold. Please stay. Grandfather was supposed to walk me home. Don't leave.
Not really seeing him pop up a whole lot, to be perfectly honest. Him. Her.
I'm not ready yet.
Are you still
Maybe I just don't have enough vulnerable in my build. I don't know. Maybe I'm killing the monsters too quickly. I mean, am I just missing him? Is he here and I just don't see him?
I'm not ready yet.
Where are you?
I mean, it could just be happening so fast that I'm not really paying attention to it.
I'm not ready yet.
but my particular build doesn't seem to like this at all.
I'm not ready yet.
I think that was the shadow clone right there.
I need more energy.
I saw him. Yeah, I saw the shadow clone. Okay, so I think I am just missing it. That's what's going on. So you'll see the shadow clone appear, and he basically just kind of looks like a ghostly figure. And most of the time he's already completed the attack by the time I see him. I'm assuming it just kind of gets lost in translation. But that's him right there. He appeared there for a second. He probably did the attack and that was it. He only does one attack, so it's not like the other shadow clone that repeats all of your attacks for a certain period of time. This one just appears and does one attack, as you saw him right there, and then he's gone. So the effect of him might be completely lost on you as you're playing. You might not even notice that he's there. I certainly couldn't see him most of the time. It definitely felt like he was kind of he just pops up, does his thing, and then disappears. I feel like they should make him a little bit more pronounced so that you can actually see what's going on. Because it's hard to tell if he's attacking, if he's hitting, if he's being effective at all. But he's definitely got a lot of bug fixes. And I feel like I kind of need to go over the bug fixes, but let's read the flavor text real quick. So Dark Wisp creeps hungrily across these gloves like an assassin's blade seeking a life to steal on a moonless night. So if we go over to the patch notes, so the Diablo 4 patch notes, and you scroll down to the section with the rogue, we need to go to build 1.20, and then we need to go to class balance updates, rogue, and you'll see Grasp of Shadow here. Bonus ranks to all core skills, affix is 100%. Shadow clone damage increase 150%, damage to vulnerable enemies, affix replaced with bonus dexterity. And then on top of that, we also have bug fixes to Grasp of Shadow. So if you go down here, you'll see the Shadow clone created by Grasp of Shadow will now apply imbuement when casting Rain of Arrows as intended. Fixed an issue where the Shadow clone granted by Grasp of Shadow would not complete a cast of Twisting Blades. Fixed an issue where the Shadow clone from Grasp of Shadow wouldn't apply poison damage. And I can't remember if there's any more than that. But it seems like they've definitely given it the work over. And that's 6 ranks to core skills is kind of insane. Definitely makes it an attractive item nonetheless. It doesn't have crit, which is something that you usually want on your gloves. But it does have attack speed and dexterity, as well as 6 ranks to core skills, which could make it very interesting, like I said, for a dual core skill build if you're trying to do a build that runs 2 core skills at the same time. This could be an interesting option for that, because obviously it's going to give you +6 to both core skills, instead of what you would get from something else where you could only get +4 to a specific core skill. This hasn't been upgraded yet, but it would upgrade to +4 as its maximum. So it's interesting to think of it from that perspective, because it definitely is, definitely is very powerful with +6 core skills on it. I can't remember, what did it have on it before? I'm so curious. I don't even remember. I know it didn't have +6. Let's take a look real quick. It was +3 before, upgraded to +4. Let's see. So they definitely changed it around quite a bit. Looking at my previous video, this is what it looked like before when I ran it the first time. As you can see, it was rank 1 to all core skills, 1 to 2. So it was much weaker of an item than the +6 that it currently is now, which is kind of crazy. Absolutely insane bump there, in my opinion, because that just makes it, well, superior to any, rare pair of gloves that you might find that only can go up to +4, and also makes it kind of crazy in terms of, well, utilizing it for multiple core skills. Anyway, as always, I do appreciate you guys and gals watching my videos, even when we're just talking about updated items, the unique items, Grasp of Shadow, and as always, keep watching.